Shalom, shalom, what's going on? It's Eitan Ben Avraham for Aleph Male here in the Holy Land of Israel. And as a lot of you know, Aleph Male is not just about the beard balm and the beard oil. Aleph Male is a Jewish lifestyle brand, right? And I want to model what it is that I aspire to, which is being a conscious Jewish man. And Baruch Hashem, I just had a baby boy a little less than 8 weeks ago, so I want to do my 8-week check-in. Right? He's in the 8th week now, and just to reflect on what it means to be a father, right? What I've learned, what it's like, right? Because there are a lot of people out there who listen, man, I got married when I was 40 years old. I'm now 43 years old. I became a father when I was 42. I turned 43 according to my solar birthday yesterday, and actually my Hebrew birthday is coming up. But it's like, this is all new territory for me. So on that note, disclaimers, I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing my own personal experience, right? Everybody needs to do their due diligence to figure out what's best for themselves. I don't even know what I'm going to say in this video. I'm really just checking in. Wow. So the first thing I'm checking in with, right, is gratitude. I'm checking in with gratitude to God for giving me the gift of my little boy, my baby Baruch. It's just, his name comes from the fact that, we say Baruch Hashem, which means blessed, right? And also before we make a bracha, we say Baruch Atah Hashem. I mean, that's the formula of the bracha. So I just realized that, that name was not on my list the whole 9 months, and it was literally just hours before he was born that name came down, of Baruch, that wow, Baruch is the word people say when they're about to connect to Hashem. And I was like, that could be an awesome name. And then I talked about it with my wife, and then that's the name we chose for him. Actually, it's really, yeah. And it's just it's a fascinating thing how so there's so much to say. Listen, peeps, if you want, this video is mamish me being real, okay? I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm going through my own journey and my own process on this video. So if, you're looking for, takeaway points, you're probably going to get some, but I don't have anything in mind. You can probably tell I'm tired. That's definitely one of the things that happens when you become a father, at least if you're a father like me, where I'm helping take care of my son. Is, dude, it's like it takes your energy. It's like a commitment that you know how you're at work and there's a project and you're working on it and then you come home and you can chill. So this is not like that. This is you have a project and it takes a lot of energy and it squeezes you and pushes you, and there is no chill. There is no chill. It's all the time, right? And I'm at my office right now, so this is as chill as it gets. But really, it's all the time. It's full on. And actually, one of the interesting things is you learn what I like to call analytics, right? I work in digital marketing. I have my own, e-commerce shop, and so you check analytics websites visits, how many likes, how many shares, sales, et cetera, right? And in some way, these signals are a reflection of where your digital marketing funnel is at. So it's I'm constantly doing analytics on my child. And what do I mean by that? I mean I'm looking at his face. Is he giving me any cues? Is he giving me a cue that he's hungry? Is he giving me a cue that he needs to make a poopy? Is he giving me a cue that he needs a burp? Is he giving me a cue that he's too hot? Is he giving me a cue that he's uncomfortable, right? It's I'm constantly reading my child every single second, on a second-to-second basis, right? In the same way, you have a live view on your website and you can see who's visiting, right? Or if you're really into social media and you're refreshing your post to see how the likes are doing or comments, right? So it's in real time, I'm just constantly assessing. And that's the thing, is that there's no set it and forget it on your child. That just doesn't exist. That's not how it works. It's your child comes into the world, and this is it's going to require you to give everything. And actually, I think what's happening to me is I think I'm actually maturing into an adult. Like I'm actually maturing into, I feel more like a man. I feel much more focused in terms of just like my need to work and my need to just like all the clutter and noise in my head is just like moving out because it's like I need to provide for this kid, and then this awareness that I need to provide. Listen, everybody goes through what they go through. I grew up in an upper middle class family, Jewish family in New Jersey with all the baggage that comes with, right? And my baggage around money, and it's like now that I've had this boy, it's like whatever baggage I have around money has taken, like it's not even in the back seat anymore. It's like in the trunk and it's about to get dropped off, right? It's like, dude, I need money. I need cash, right? It's like when you're single or you just get married, it's like, like there's a certain budget you can feel comfortable with, right? And my wife has definitely gotten me onto budgets and financial planning, all these things. But now that I have a child, it's like all my expectations and budget goals have shifted, right? So that's like just something, it's like it really, really brings into focus like the need to work and make money, and the nature of the value of money has changed for me because, when I was growing up and I saw all these people running after money and I saw that they were miserable, I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to run after money. And obviously I've had lots of evolution around that, but now it's like, yes, money is something that I want to run after because I want to take responsibility for my son, and I don't want to outsource, where his food is going to come from to getting help from my family or borrowing, right? Which means that I need to be the man. It's like, it's like you're in like the Super Friends headquarters, right? And like everybody needs to go on a mission, right? Like you got to save the world. And so it's like, well, who's on making money? Who's on money? Who's on that one? Who's going to handle money? Who's going to make sure the money's here? Like someone needs to make sure the cake gets here. Someone needs to make sure the food, the laundry gets here, right? Somebody needs to take care of, that bad guy and like his subterranean lair over there. Who's on that? Someone needs to get like the special doodad choop chick that's going to like, reverse the polarity of the kryptonite, right? It's like everybody's got their mission. Right? So it's like, well, who's on the mission of money? Who's going to make the money come in? And it's like, oh, wait, that's me. And so that is also just something that's gotten really, really clear in my mind. And again, like I am being transparent here. I'm being real. I'm peeling the layers. Learn what you can from what I am sharing. Learn that it is possible to be transparent and real, for better and for worse. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm checking in with that. I'm checking in with like feeling a much deeper connection to my own Jewish practice. Like when I'm praying at home, I really feel like a priest. It's different. Like my whole nature of home has changed. My whole nature with my relationship with my wife has changed. We feel much closer. We feel like we've been through this together. It was a home birth. Right, like I was her main man the whole time. We had a midwife and a doula. We got the green lights that it was safe to do it at home. Birth is not a medical emergency, right? But it's like I feel much more close to my wife, and it's just such a blessing. And I'm just praying that goodness and sweetness only strengthen and mellow like wine, and get more flavorful and spicy and everything in between. And yeah, but like I feel much closer to her, and it's like we have this boy between us now, and it's just like he's so beautiful. He's so beautiful to look at. He's also so much work, like so much work, and it's like that part of me, I don't know how to say it, man, but it's like I feel a new strength inside of me. And that strength gives me the strength to take my own inner child. Like there's a difference between being childlike and childish. And the childish part of me that just wants to just not have any responsibilities, that childish part of me is no longer in the driver's seat the way that it used to be. Like there's a new part of me that stepped up that's like, no, I need to be a man now. And it's really crazy. Listen, some people go through this maturation process before they have kids. Many people reach great levels of financial success before they have kids. But I see that my son is a catalyst for massive change in my life. So that is going on. And yes, so back to praying. So it's like when I'm praying, it's like I really feel like I'm in my kitchen and I'm davening, and it's like, wow, it's like Hashem gave me the Torah and mitzvot, and I'm davening Shachris, I'm davening Mincha, I'm davening Mariv, and all of a sudden everything is shifting, and for a second I stop being a father and I stop being a husband and I become a priest of Hashem, Am Kohanim, who's here to pray. And at the same time, when I'm praying, it's like a spiritual light fills the room, or maybe it's more like Hashem removes the veils from my own eyes and I see the spiritual light that was already there, but all of a sudden my kitchen becomes so beautiful and my living room becomes so beautiful, even more beautiful than it was, and it's like somehow this kli, this vessel, opens up inside me to just reveal the holiness and to receive the holiness and light that's in my life. And I've never experienced anything like this until the birth of my child. Like it really, really shifted things. And I think it's because, and actually as soon as he was born, I experienced a frequency shift in my energy field. There's what we can see with a microscope and a telescope, the five senses, right? And then the intellect, which interprets the data, right? But in my experience, we also have other antenna. There's a sixth sense, seventh sense, eighth sense, right? And I sense energy, frequencies, vibrations, and it's like as soon as my son was born, I felt my frequency shift. I felt it right away. It was like, whoa, I'm a father now. And I'm still tuning into that frequency more and more. It's like a cellular thing, right? It's not like, it's not something that I can explain. It's just something that I'm experiencing and feeling. Nor is it an emotional thing, right? Like on an emotional level, I'm experiencing love, right? I'm also noticing I have less patience for other people because my patience is going to my son, right? Those are emotional things. This energy thing, this frequency phenomena, which I'm describing, is, you could say it's occurring on a psychic level, but I literally feel as if like all of a sudden Hashem downloaded the Abba app into my psyche and consciousness, and it's like, wow, now I'm a father, and the structure of how I relate to reality has fundamentally changed because now I have a son. So that is also something I'm checking in with. Checking in with love, like so much love, and every day it just gets more and more. Shout out to Beardy Vlogger Michael, right, for calling that out, sending me that beautiful message about what it's like to be a father, because it's true. I just feel the love growing more and more. I'm doing a lot of bonding time with my son. I take care of him for a few hours in the morning, and I'm either like wrapping him, or I've got him in an ergo. I'm feeding him, and it's like there's just this bonding that's occurring, and I really think that, like, just in terms of Aleph Male culture, like, men are also nurturers, and it's just really important to expand the canvas of what roles men play to include that, besides warrior energy, like going out into the world and being the hunter and succeeding. It's very interesting because from a Jewish perspective, it's like our model is not Esav, our model is not the hunter, our model is actually the shepherd, right? Our forefathers were shepherds, right? They took care of life, and their wealth came through taking care of life. That was how their wealth came to them. And they engaged in animal husbandry, and they were also husbands, right? So this concept of husbandry, right, doesn't just apply to livestock. On a completely different level, completely different paradigm, completely different context, husbandry applies to your wife, and then being a good husband also means being a good father, right? And it's just this whole other map of how you build the kalim to receive Hashem's light, i.e. shefa, i.e. money, that like is really just something that I'm experiencing on a much deeper level now that my son has been born. Also, radical shift in relationship to my own family of origin. So much more appreciation to my mom and dad for just how much they did for me growing up. I cannot imagine how many hours in the night my mom was up taking care of me. When I see my wife basically just, giving up her sleep, on so many levels for my son, it's incredible. It's really incredible. Like mothers are givers, and also women are tough. Women are freaking tough, right? Like the whole like women are fragile. It's like, dude, like I was had the blessing of witnessing a home birth, my wife giving birth to my son. Women are freaking strong and resilient. So that's also something I'm checking in with. Yeah. That is part of what's up. Let's see if there's anything else in there that's bubbling to the surface before I finish this video in terms of what I'm checking in with. I don't want to make sure I leave out any big nuggets. Just Torah. Just being aware of how it's my responsibility to educate my son in the ways of Torah. Right? Like, like the bracha that everybody says when you find out you had a boy or a girl is, Torah, chuppah, and ma'asim tovim, that he learns Torah, he gets married, and he does acts of kindness. And it's like, yeah, man, it's like I need to take responsibility for my own Torah learning. I feel way more Jewish. I think a lot of that has to do with the bris. A lot of that has to do with giving him a bris, right? Like eighth day circumcision, right? Like that really shifted things too. It's like, wow, dude, I'm serious about this Jewish thing. Like I just gave my son a bris. So that was a pretty big deal. And then also on the 30th day, the Pidyon Haben, the redemption of the firstborn, I had the blessing of being able to do that mitzvah too. That was also a pretty big deal. In terms of just like, having a priest, a Kohen, come to my yard, with 5 silver coins, which I bought from him, which like, he he took ownership of my son spiritually, and then I had to pay him those 5 shekel coins to get my son back, right? Because the idea is I'm choosing my son and my family over money, and trust me, they were nice shiny silver coins, but I didn't have a second of hesitation in terms of what I wanted more. It was my boy, my baby Baruch, and that whole redemption of the firstborn was also like a very deep thing that just like solidified my own Jewish identity. And I'm going to finish off there. For anybody who's watched the 17 minutes worth of checking in, thank you. I check in with my wife a lot. We check in with each other. This is one of the ways we stay below the surface of, hi, how are you? I'm fine. And for anyone who's rolled with me, thank you to get to this point. Please leave some comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And also, please like and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to the Aleph Male channel if you're feeling the vibe. Peace and shalom.